Why don't we finish up with The Outsider, a show on HBO that we didn't talk about. We knew was coming, but I think both were we were like interested in it, but maybe not bought all the way when it first dropped. And then, or at least I wasn't. And then it kind
Yeah,
of took
right.
everything by storm.
It also just came out like second week of January. We were just kind of busy covering other stuff anyway, so it was an easy wait and see.
We try to bring you as much as we can on this podcast, and that's why we're circling around as The Outsider wrapped up last night. And I'm going to kind of give you the floor here a little bit, Dave. How do you feel about the finale? But I think just the show in general. It's adapted off a Stephen King story. Did you enjoy The Outsider?
I did enjoy The Outsider. 10 episode season, not necessarily a mini series at this time, although I think this 10 episode narrative is the last we'll see of these characters, I'm assuming.
Mm, maybe we'll talk about that at the end.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I like the beginning more, where you get more of the Richard Price aspect of this. Price wrote most of the episodes, not all of them. Of course, the famous crime novelist who also wrote Wire and The Night of, I think, where he really started to shine as a television voice. And the initial setup, I think, is just flat out dynamite, where you have the prospect of somebody literally being in two places at once, clearly committed a crime and clearly was not able to commit the crime. It's really high concept, yet it's executed in such a perfect way. And the almost stunt casting of Jason Bateman in the early episodes of Terry Maitland, I think, really kind of sells that. And then when you go from there and you learn that, again, as a Stephen King adaptation, there is going to be something supernatural, but they don't waste any time with that. I think the pilot's really great because from the first hour in, you're like, oh wait, something is afoot here. Clearly, something else is going on. Mm-hmm. And once they bring in Cynthia Erivo's character,
yes,
what was her name? Lily,
Holly.
Sorry, yeah. Once Holly comes in, and you get this kind of other energy to the show when you stop following Ben Mendelsohn as much. And, I think maybe you could have trimmed it down a little bit. Maybe if this was 8 instead of 10, it's just as good or even a little tighter. But I almost like the fact that we got just kind of extra time to see how these characters come to grips with the reality they're understanding. And then it kind of ends like a Stephen King thing. You got to go get the supernatural guy, go kill the clown. Go, in this case, go to the fucking cave and kill El Cuco. Yeah. But ultimately, the outsider is more concerned about, mentally how something like this affects people, and the various wife characters in the show as well. I think they get moments about how everyone's processing grief and having their faith challenged and all that stuff. So yeah, I think it was really good the whole time. It's dark, it's not a not the funnest time, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got serious True Detective season 1 vibes from this season. I thought it was really great. I thought Mendelsohn and Cynthia Erivo playing these two people who have very opposing worldviews, one very narrow and rigid and black and white, that there's the evidence and you just go by the evidence, and then one who's like, there's more out there than we know, and the way that they kind of come together and play off each other by the end of it, I think was just fantastic. I feel like you had something to say right there.
No, I totally agree.
I think the Bateman stuff was, like you said, really, really smart, because I was totally sucked in, like, oh, we're gonna get to watch Jason Bateman playing this character who has to like survive in prison, and while he might be innocent, that's gonna be really interesting. And no, they totally flipped that in your head by episode 2, that right. he's not part of this. And then you have a dynamite supporting cast. You have Bill Camp, who pretty central character, but probably third or fourth lead in this. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Really, I thought he was fantastic in this. Cynthia Erivo, she's excellent in everything she's in at this point. Like, girl is just a dynamite actor and performer and everything. And then I really liked the stuff with Terry Maitland's wife, and I'm forgetting that actress's name. But I thought that was actually some of the most like fascinating, like human building stuff about like how
Right.
you, when you're at the center of something like this, and you were obviously not a part of it at all, how you're kind of like the shrapnel and like the casualties that no one thinks about and talks about, and how you move on from it. Just really, really interesting stuff. Um, I'm hoping, and this is where I kind of think maybe this cast, someone from this cast might be back. I'm hoping Holly can
Uh,
kind of be like the through line for this, and I think they kind of set something like that up at the end where she's kind of typing on her computer as like the credits roll, as
hmm,
potentially being like the person who goes around and is like
I see.
facing these supernatural things, and she seems to have that ability to like spot those things too.
Interesting.
How would you feel about that if that were the moving forward?
Yeah, I was almost just thinking like the outsider itself could be just some kind of brand, and they could
Yeah.
like kind of like what they do with the terror, bring back the terror, but do something completely different.
Mhm.
Um, I wonder if that's appealing to Cynthia Erivo, very in demand talent at this time. She seems to really just enjoy jumping around
Mhm.
to lots of roles. Obviously, just did Harriet Tubman. She's about to be in the third season of Genius as Aretha Franklin. Um, but that would
Crazy.
be cool because maybe that in that case she would truly be like the lead from the jump. I guess I'm not sure. You know, um,
Mhm.
I would probably advise them that to not continue the show if you're not getting price back.
Yeah.
Um, but it's an interesting prospect. I think that what I really liked about Aria's performance is that she's playing someone that's probably on the spectrum in some way, yet it doesn't get hokey. And I think she
Mhm.
kind of just approaches the character, and the writing helps this too with a certain like level of warmth, but also like I guess respect for the way people can be different than others. And like there was a chance for that character to be really just really off and could have kind of honestly really hurt the show. The performance was done differently, but that
Mhm.
was not the case. That was great. And
Yeah.
yeah, Ben Mendelsohn, crushing the American accent once again. You love to see that. He's great in everything he is. It's nice to see him be not a bad guy.
Yes.
Also, he's been a bad guy a lot recently, but he's just obviously a talented guy. And Bateman was behind the camera a few episodes in the beginning too,
Mhm.
and we know he's honestly become quite the talented director. With Ozark. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think outside, I think HBO's found something with these early starting off the year with some kind of drama. They did True Detective season 3 this time last year.
Mhm.
Um, the way they're programming, I think they figured something out with anchoring the first wave of shows with this kind of drama.
HBO seems to be really good at this, dude. I don't
Yeah,
know. They
new
might make
development.
it.